3, 2, 1.
Woo! Woo! Woo!
Oh, show!
Oh,
Oh,
so
my
down.
God, the kitchen table and the computer just shook.
That is,
No one was mad that you cut the whole. You go anywhere.
What do I do with that?
Yeah, and the Macho Madness and the Hulkamania.
On top of that, you're the best wrestler of all time. So I absolutely adore you.
For being the cream of the crop, yeah.
Let's go!
Fucking idiot, you have no idea what you're fucking talking about. God. They were saying Sony apparently said that the PlayStation 5. You fucking suckers! Is that the end of it?
Or every pixel of the game engine into the face. Can't say
That Dallas.
Stupid.
What did you know? When that's like part of my Christmas.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Break Room Podcast, and we're down to half this week, but we thought it was important to go live because number one, we had the 4th of July, so happy belated 4th of July to those who celebrate, and some big news. This is the year of strangeness. Because I'm playing Bethesda games and Chris tried out All American Burger and didn't absolutely hate it. So we're definitely living in some uncharted, strange waters here.
Still maintain it's overrated.
I don't think it's overrated. I think it's exactly rated. I don't overhype it. I just enjoy it when I go there. You know, there are times where I'll pass through the neighborhood and not get it because it's like, all right, well, I had it recently. Their knishes are really good. You got to get the golden spicy brown mustard for it, though. I don't think they have it on location, so I usually bring it home. The hot dogs are, average at best. But the burgers...
Those motherfuckers don't... Oh, damn it. Wait, did we get... we didn't get 3 minutes in and I already cursed. Damn, I'm sorry. Those bastards... I don't know if that's still a curse, too.
You son of a...
But they serve onion rings without ranch. How are you going to serve onion rings without ranch? Ketchup and onion rings.
Do they not have any ranch?
No, they don't have ranch. They just have ketchup. So you're supposed to dip your onion rings in ketchup.
That's the original way. That's the original way.
No, that is the peasant
I don't use ranch
way.
either. I like that shit that they give you with the bloomin' onion. That's that tangy.
That's like a ranch mixed with hot sauce.
But it's got
That's
stuff,
a ranchito. It's the same thing.
But
it's still
different.
ranch.
It hits different. And
it does. It's better.
Doesn't.
But at the bare minimum, you gotta have ranchito. They just mix ranch and hot sauce. That's how they make it. And it's really good.
Yeah, I mean, I love that shit. I like to get it from Texas Roadhouse too because I feel like it's less greasy than the Outback, the original bloomin' onion.
Hey, for whoever's in here, let us know how we sound. Just give us a heads up. We got a bunch of stuff hooked up right now.
Both prospective voice actors, so let us know if we sound
just another day in the life
sexy.
of the GTA VALET and the Real Life Peter Griffin. And today we're sitting here in Rob's basement, and we're going to be talking about. Well, what are we going to be talking about? Talking about Skyrim. We're going to be talking about House of the Dragon, fantasy. We did have From the Dungeon wanted us to talk a little bit about the Dr. Disrespect thing, so maybe we'll discuss that.
Geez.
We're both pretty much at the same point with the boys. And we're also going to be talking about, while we're discussing video games, cheating in video games and the history of cheats in video games. So, yeah, we're just going to be bullshitting. Did just post a GTA Valet short, so we'll see if anybody checks that out. But we do have, as Rob was saying, something special planned here because we don't normally get to do this on the show, but we do have Skyrim queued up to play.
We do. So to go back down memory lane, and maybe we'll set up the story, and then maybe we'll play the clip, and then we'll sink into the meat and potatoes of the conversation of Skyrim. But basically, I had told the story about my first impressions of Skyrim when the game first came out, and also compared it to my original experience with Oblivion. And it was less than satisfactory, we'll say.
I loved it.
I don't want to spoil it too much, but it's pretty funny because I go on an entire tirade about how much I fucking hate Bethesda games because they crush my soul because they tell stories that I want to learn about. And the games I just find to be very difficult for my attention span and for the amount of time that I have to dedicate to the game because it does require a lot of grinding and leveling up and exploration and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not totally opposed to that stuff, but you know, being a 35-year-old man, I don't have the time to dedicate that, you know, maybe a guy in his 20s could, you know, pour hundreds of hours into Skyrim and really get the full experience. I was really just interested in getting a good video game and kind of continuing the fun that I was having from playing the modded out Fallout 4. In fact, if we want, we could actually pull up the modded Fallout 4 too and show them Thor in that game too, because we hooked up my PlayStation so you guys can see my my system. I have all the games downloaded there,
and that's where it started was Fallout, because
It did.
initially Rob hated Bethesda. Actually, it didn't even really start with Fallout. It kind of started with Starfield, because you kind of like Starfield and you played it.
I gave Starfield a shot because everybody else was playing. I didn't want to be the one jerk off that wasn't, and I got it through the Xbox Game Pass or whatever. So I don't think I even paid for it. Just for shits and giggles, I tried it out. I didn't hate it. I enjoyed it. I didn't. It kind of got lackluster to me after a while. I don't know. I just didn't really get hooked into the game. I played through like the main story a few times. I didn't do the like a lot of the offshoot stuff. I just didn't find the
You knew
importance
Game Plus
of it.
like 3 times, right?
I
Or
did.
something?
I did. Yeah. And each time you come back, it's
Yeah.
become more powerful. Whatever.
You only scratched the surface.
But
I will see that there was a lot of, because then I played Cyberpunk now that I upped my PC, and Cyberpunk does a better job at whatever both Cyberpunk and Starfield are trying to do. Even though Starfield's different and it's intergalactic, I will say that, I love Starfield, but it did, fall off a cliff. And they upgraded it, and, we'll go back to that. But Starfield was your intro. Then you played Fallout, finally.
No, it was the show that really saved it for me.
Right.
I watched the Fallout TV show. I really enjoyed it. I kind of wanted it. And then it was Little Joe, too. Little Joe was playing the remake of Fallout 4 for the PS5. And I was kind of having fun watching him. And then he went into the arcade, and he got the Grognak's axe and outfit. And I was like, it just, like, put an idea in my head. I was like, I know that these games are moddable. And what's rare about the Bethesda games is they'll allow you to mod on console, which no other game does.
Right.
And I was like,
Not many.
I'm gonna play a modded Fallout 4 where I'm like Thor in the Fallout universe. I just wanted to do that. So I basically made him invincible. He had a lightning hammer, and it was just a lot of fun. I had jetpack powers without jetpack. I think I had higher jumping, stuff like that. Easy crafting, all that kind of stuff, just so I can get like the full effect of the game without
Training
having to-
wheels.
Exactly.
Superpower
But
training wheels.
but to the game's credit, I still had to pour over 100 hours into the game to get the full experience. I played through the. And I still didn't really get the full experience, because to get the full experience, you have to keep replaying the game over and over and picking different factions. Like if you want to go with the Brotherhood, or if you want to go with the Railroad, or if you want to go with the Institute, like there's all different plays that you can go for. I went with the Railroad, but then I ultimately stormed the Institute with the Minutemen, because I like the Minutemen. They were the first ones that I met, and they're the ones that I felt really had the backs of the
Best interest of the
yeah,
people.
the best interest of the people, because they're the only ones that are going to the settlements and like helping people. So that's why I ended up going with them, and I really enjoyed it. And I was like kind of sad that I was done, and there was a PS5 update to Skyrim. So I'm like, fuck, am I really gonna try Skyrim again? But I was like, you know what? I'm going to do the same thing I did with Fallout 4. I'm going to make it Thor, and I'm going to have fun with it. I'm going to make it where it doesn't have these I took all of the things that frustrated me about it the last time, and I found mods that would fix it.
Well, let's show the people what frustrated you last time, and
Yeah, let's cut to that clip.
We're gonna pull up from our what do you call it? From our catalog here, episode 5. So this is
Wow, this is
years
going
ago
back.
at this point. We're going back,
Almost 3 years ago.
and there's a wealth of content there. So there Rob is, and here we go. Rob really hates Bethesda. Let's give it a listen. We might have to take
Here we
our
go.
headphones off to hear it, but
All right.
let's see.
It's a sin, because I keep wanting to like Bethesda games. Because like the premise of them is always promising. Oh, Skyrim, this looks nice. Yeah, it's four hours in the middle of a fucking winter tundra later.
Which way am I supposed to go?
It keeps goddamn dying. Oh, look, a Yeti just fucking ass raped me 3 seconds into the fucking game. I don't need this shit. I want to play this game because I want to enjoy myself. When I get lost in video games, it's nothing pisses me off more.
It's like ADD. If the game doesn't have a clear objective,
give me a fucking quest helper. Give me some kind of like a marker on the fucking map.
Go here now.
Where the fuck do I go? Oh, that's nice. I can say a word and blast it for fucking half across the continent.
But you can go anywhere.
What the fuck do I do with that?
You can go anywhere and do anything.
Oh, go downstairs and make nice with the fucking witch lady. Oh, go over here. Poison this motherfucker. Stab this cocksucker. Take this key. Go fuck yourself, your sister's ass. I'm done with that goddamn. And every fucking game is the same shit. Visually, great. The gameplay, fucking trash.
This guy fucking gets it.
Hey,
Fuck yeah.
I can't do it. Oh, look, I stole a fork, and now the whole fucking village wants to kill me. Get the fuck out of here.
They do want to kill you, that's true.
It's insane.
That always got me. I'd either get lost or I would be
Not for
wanted
nothing.
in
There
a
was
village.
one quest line, and granted, this is like a long time ago that I played this last. You have this lady that's following you around. I don't know. Maybe she's half Thor Bjornson's fucking lost sister, because she carries every fucking thing you ever had. You get over encumbered, but this bitch can carry everything. So she's following me around everywhere, and I have to do some quest line where I have to talk to this fucking prick of a wizard. He's in the middle of a village. Some shit, some like big city, right?
That escalated quickly.
And he's gotta let me into the fucking archive or some shit to get some bullshit from some other asshole. Who the fuck even knows what the setup was?
Maesters? Is there a
I
Maester?
don't know who the fuck it was. The Maester
Maester
Baiters, I don't know who the fuck they were. So
There you go. Fuck them.
this guy won't listen to anything I'm telling. I'm like trying to convince him. I'm trying to use like persuasion. I'm trying to use bribery. This prick won't give me what the fuck I need for this goddamn quest line. I'm not used to quest fighting back. Like, I just want to fucking do it. When it was fucking World of Warcraft, oh, he has a question mark. This is the guy I need to talk to. He doesn't fight me. It's like, okay, all right, I'll move on with my life.
That you need to go back.
No, this motherfucker, no. So I kill this prick and take the fucking key. Now the whole goddamn town's coming after my ass. And it wouldn't be a problem because I just jump in the fucking water and swim away. But they keep killing this cocksucking woman that keeps following me around. And I'm gonna lose all my fucking loot.
I'm blue in the face.
This is 4 hours into the goddamn game. I'd have a fucking aneurysm if I played it 20 hours and had to fucking undo it. Are you kidding me?
Oh my god.
Are you kidding me?
Bethesda, you're out. Bethesda is out.
Fuck you, Bethesda. I'm sorry. I'm sure you're very nice people and you try very hard to make your games, but I can't fucking like them to save my goddamn life.
Beast.
I rest my case.
That was rant of the year right there. Holy
That's one in the highlight
shit.
reel. That's the show trailer right there.
If we ever have like after like a year of doing this, like a recollection or
had this
an award
rant more than
show
once.
for
There's
ourselves,
there's
that's
another
rant of the
episode
year
where
right
it's
there.
totally
That's
the same rant.
rant
the
of the
same-
year.
But yeah, I would say Far Cry 6 is my top game. If I have a prediction for the game, they like them artsy-fartsy games like It Takes Two. I'm not taking away from the game 3 years ago.
Yeah, we're going back there. But so there you have it. There was definitely a time where Rob vehemently refused to give another shot for any of these Elder Scrolls games. And you know what? You want to start?
You want to jump in? So here's me eating my words from 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So just to give you guys a reference, this is the list of quests that I have completed. There's a way of like skipping through this shit a little faster.
See how we sound too.
There we go. Yeah, so that's the full list of all the quests that I've done. I'm sure there might be some that are missing. This particular quest line is something that just keeps repeating over and over. It's not something you can finish. This one I'm trying to figure out, but I'll probably
Let me
look up
preface
in time.
this a little bit. Rob has already, with mods and cheats and whatnot, he's super powerful, and he's already gone through the Dark Brotherhood quest line, which he just finished. I watched him do that.
We'll give you the full grand scale.
Guild.
So anything that's blacked out on the map as a place I have not visited yet. So I've done a good majority of the game. There are some nooks and crannies and stuff that I haven't hit yet, and it makes me happy because I really don't want to stop playing. I'm still enjoying myself. But I did play through the Dragonborn quest line. I did the Civil War. I sided with the Imperials. I sided with the Imperials. I killed Ulfric Stormcloak. I was happy with that decision because ultimately when you do the last quest and you end up in basically what's considered Valhalla, you do see him if you kill him before you do that quest. Like he kind of is like, like he agrees with what you did. So it just felt good in the end. But
well, he makes you turn on Jarl Balgruuf.
I was not about to do that. He was the first homie you make in the game in Dragon's Reach.
He lets you capture a dragon in his castle.
He was instrumental.
And then you're supposed to betray him for Ulfric Stormcloak. Ulfric Stormcloak, yeah. He blew away the High King Torik with just a shout. Ulfric Stormcloak. Glad that he's dead. I sided with the Empire as well and not Ulfric, primarily because I'm not going to betray Jarl Balgruuf.
If Ulfric wasn't such a prick and didn't want to kill Jarl Balgruuf, I probably would have went with the Stormcloak.
He is also a racist that hated the Dark Elves.
Well, that's another thing. It's,
Gave him like a ghetto in his city.
And honestly, when you meet the Emperor, he's a pretty chill guy, all in all.
Oh, yeah, well, you meet the Emperor, right?
Yeah, you do meet the Emperor, right? I don't want to spoil too much here, but...
dude, the games fucking came out in 2011. Right, There's no spoilers anymore. You the Dark
Join
Brotherhood,
the Dark Brotherhood and you fucking kill the Emperor.
The final culmination is you assassinate the Emperor,
but not before getting betrayed.
Right.
But it's great because once you get like the shouts for like Dragon Rend and stuff like that, you can make the dragons land. And just to give you an idea,
just walk around.
How powerful I am. I'm just gonna go into a cave I haven't been in before. I don't want to leave because I don't want to.
There you go.
And we're gonna give you the full. So this is Thor, obviously, and this is my beautiful wife Serana in her Dark Seducer outfit because I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, that's a mod. Normally you can't marry Serana, but that's one of the mods.
It is. It is a mod.
Super powerful.
Probably gonna be trolls or bears in here, one or the other.
Jeez, this game still looks incredible.
Well, you got to figure it's gotten a facelift, so it's not exactly the same as.
Yeah, still, I mean, the fact that a game that came out in 2011 originally.
One shot.
Yeah, so he could just one shot everything.
Everything is a one shot.
There's no challenge.
I love it. I love cheating in video games, and we'll talk about that later. But it's just I find it entertaining.
I'm a firm believer of you do the first playthrough without any cheats.
Also, shout out to fucking Whirlwind Sprint. Because that's like my number one thing right there. Even my niece was enjoying it. She was actually playing. She was watching me play earlier. Wow, was that a bear and a fucking?
Yeah, there's like trolls, bears. There's all kinds of animals like that fought down here. It looks like. So
what we got in here?
BC Fire says Vamp Babe all day.
I mean, I'm telling you. I mean, look at it. Her lips are fucking gorgeous. Look at that. I don't mind the glowing red eyes. I just couldn't be a vampire anymore. And here's a funny story. So I was trying to cheese the game a little bit because you could just keep hitting X to buy like wood to build your house and stuff. And I just, I walked away from the screen but kept hitting X, and I guess I waited too long. And I think I accidentally started a conversation with Serana to make her turn me into a vampire. So when I came back to the game, I was a vampire all of a sudden. I was like, when the fuck did this happen? And that's probably why. So
I mean, sometimes when you're just fighting vampires, you contract it, and there was that quest you did where the guy said you might have contracted, sanguinaris, whatever.
Well, that was after
you cleared it. That was a very basic cave. There was nothing.
It was very
in there.
basic, very small.
Show them the streets of Whiterun. There's nothing in Skyrim.
Well, I gotta get out of the cave before I can fast travel.
It's nothing quite like just going to a tavern.
So another thing to show people, because I there's no bounds to my fucking
power
cheating in this game. I kept putting mods on and like hoping that it wouldn't crash the game, but
yeah, they can.
So I'll give you the rundown. So if you go to creations, this will actually give you the list of the mods that I'm using.
It's a very rare thing that you could do mods on a.
So
on a
Fendrix Magic Reloaded.
console.
So it did an overhaul on some of the magic. This was cool because this allows you to summon like a evil version of Stada. Super easy mode. Horses have massive stamina and stamina regen boost. The God mode start gives you all kinds of stuff.
There's a really cool mod. It's called New Beginning, where instead of starting the game the same way that you always do, where you're about to get executed and Ulfric and all that, you can choose between like 10 different starts, and you could be like a wealthy merchant that already has a house in Solitude, or you could be a vampire, or whatever it may be.
This one was a direct because of the problems I was having with Lydia getting killed on me constantly. This saves me from that because they can't die. You know, skill training, master. I still haven't found this satchel. I gotta figure out where the fuck that is, which is really funny. Expedited training, cheats and this is like a whole, like, gives you a bunch of shit. There's a lot that this one does. Tracking and summoning. I never even used this, but only reason I downloaded this mod is because I was doing something similar in Fallout 4 where I could like target Piper and then like put a marker on her, so I wouldn't have to like find her in the sanctuary every time I wanted to bring her back into the party. Overpowered weapons, so it's like an OP version of every weapon that can like basically kill it, you know, everything. Cheat ring, which makes you ultra powerful. Easy lock picking, easier leveling, fast leveling.
Every possible.
Lightning hammer, there you go. That's Mjolnir, and it's named Mjolnir in the game, which is fun. It just doesn't have. It's a little disappointing next to the lightning hammer I had in Fallout 4. I will say that. Like it does the trick. It kills everything in one shot. But I think the lightning animation for the hammer in Fallout 4 was better.
Well, keep in mind you could do more mods on PC and on Xbox.
Of course.
The PlayStation specifically is coded differently, so you're kind of limited on what mods you could do on here. There's some insane, even crazier, cooler,
this one was
useful
terrible.
mods. Yeah, the
I would not
lightsabers
recommend this
crap.
one. The
I
Darth
think it's a
Vader armor
copyright
doesn't really
thing.
look like him either.
Not at all.
This does give you some Star Wars spells, though. Ring of Carry Weight you can give to your follower if you want, but actually gave them the charm of undying loyalty because that actually makes them also unkillable, and also I think it gives them like maximum sneak and whatnot, so it's super helpful when they're walking behind you. The carry weight,
It's everything.
it's like, I mean,
Yeah. Fendrix
could
is a
say-
good one. I use the Fendrix.
Marry Me Serana, that was the one right there, because I was like, nope. You know, it's funny, I'm usually a redhead kind of guy, but Bethesda's been selling me on the brunettes because it started with Piper and now I've got Serana. But yeah, multiple rings was also really important because you can wear more than one ring with this one. Free crafting for certain things. I mean, you can see. And this one was really cool. So before we go to Whiterun, I actually want to show something off real quick. So to the far top left corner of the map is a vampire castle called Castle Volkihar, which is where Serana's actually from. It's her father's castle.
Harkon. Lord Harkon.
Lord Harkon. And I laugh every time because this guy is like still left behind after the battle. with
Well,
the
you
vampires.
can hire him. You can.
I can't speak to him. He's broken.
Really.
He's just broken. I just leave him.
I
there.
think you. I don't know if you have to unlock it maybe first, but yeah, you can.
Well,
actually
you have to
hire
buy
those.
him for 500 gold or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, and you can have an armored trolls.
All the dead, vampires are still, in the building and everything. Because if you become a vampire, this becomes one of your, I guess, sanctuaries or whatever.
That's what I love about these games is when you kill somebody, sometimes their bodies actually remain there. Like Ulfric's corpse is still right in front of his throne in my game.
But what's sick is the mod basically makes it my castle. And I'll show you what I mean. So if we look at the close map.
I'm pretty sure if you sided with them, then that happens. But you sided with the other guys, the vampire hunters.
Yeah, the Dawn Guard.
There you go.
So, like, there's, like, how it says steel now, but this is, like, I guess, the regular area of the castle. But then if you go to...
Damn, it looks so crisp. So, Asa Asil said Imperial all the way. Also, lots of great mods. Yeah, PC's great. You could, like, duplicate enemies. You could do, like, cut off their head more often. You can... there was one time I duplicated a whole Stormcloak camp, and I just slaughtered all, like, 100 soldiers. And it was crazy because I have the mod that it cuts their head off more frequently. So, at the end of it all, like, all of the heads rolled down a hill. They rolled down a mountain into a lake, and it was just a lake full of heads. It was nuts. There's so many cool mods you could do. You can make essential characters non-essential so that you can kill them.
You can do the vice versa, too.
Right.
Yeah, so check this. So you can use all this stuff. And her mom is here, too, but this is the great food hall. I think this is the hall that you end up in when you speak to him.
Yeah, they're all sitting there, I think, feasting.
But this all becomes...
So let's see there. Vampire thing, also you demolish the storm. Then
It's like a huge-ass castle. And I love how the braziers fucking light up as you walk past.
yeah, I'm surprised you
bats
didn't
fly
play the
through.
vampire a little bit more. Vampire Lord's pretty powerful and cool. I know you got
I
tired
didn't
of
like the animation for the sun burning you and shit. It was just, I don't know,
Yeah, you get used to
sensory
it.
thing. Look at all these rooms.
Yeah, this game is, you know, all of their games, but especially the Elder Scroll games, they're always so detailed. There's just so many objects and shit that you can interact with. You know, like if you did like the Fuss Roda, like all the candlesticks and just all the shit would go flying
There we go.
everywhere.
This is what I'm talking about. Check this out. This is awesome.
See, all it took was some crazy mods to make Rob fall in love with Elder Scrolls games.
Ready to enjoy this? Watch this.
So, Sil mentioned Vampire Lord is cool, but it also adds the challenges during the challenge during the day. Yes, but he's invincible, so it's also like,
Look at
you
that.
know.
Just chilling on my throne.
But yes, you know, there's pros and cons to it, but I mean, it was cool being a Vampire Lord. I enjoyed feeding on people when they slept and shit.
You would, though.
Skyrim VR, yeah. Well, you can play Skyrim VR, right? Because you have.
Well, I have the PlayStation 4 VR. I don't have the 5.
It's so stupid that it doesn't work for both.
I hate it. In fact, I hate
Makes no
that
sense to me.
they even made it that the Harmonix game, which was my favorite thing on PlayStation 4 VR, is not compatible with the 5.
Yeah, I mean, you know, so PS5 does have a VR headset or no? Uh-oh. Popped out for a second. PS5 has a VR headset or no?
Oh, I ended up getting a sick outfit from this guy. He had a ancient master vampire outfit. Trying to find the fucking...
Yeah, go somewhere where you can kill people. Or
Well, what I was trying to find
interact.
was, it was sick. There's a bookshelf system in here that's actually labeled A through M and then N through Z and then miscellaneous and stuff. So I was able to dump every book that I own into this castle because it was like killing me. I had like hundreds of books and
Well, since you have unlimited carry weight, you just pick up every single thing that
Exactly.
you could possibly. See, normally when you play this game, you have to be, you know,
there it is.
mindful of what you're carrying. Oh, but they're not on display though.
No, but I mean,
It's fine that they're not. It's just, it's cool when you have like
and
the
I have
custom
like
bookshelves.
fucking so many books
Yeah, that's a smart way of doing it.
You know? And it's all the way down to Z.
I never did the VR. I wish I did. But I have it on my PC, and it looks
I
absolutely
put
insane.
Numbered ones. And then some of the shit went in here, too.
There's mods where you can, like, change the size of people. You can make them, like, really big or really small.
That's funny.
I made this one guard in Whiterun, like, freaking, like, 20 feet tall. And then, like, left. And then, like, days later, I was in Whiterun, and he was still there. Like, the guard actually was still alive, and he was just walking around. It was just one of the guys. He was, like, freaking 20 feet tall.
Sure as bones, a handsome man in Falkreath.
Sure as bones.
You know what? We're going to go see her.
Go to her. Well, go to Whiterun first, because they got to hear Nazim. Do you get to the Cloud District often? Oh, who am I kidding? Of course you don't.
Wait,
That's a classic.
Right.
Love Whiterun. There's nothing like walking through the streets of Whiterun. The music.
Check out. Oh, wait. Where is it?
The music
that's
in this
right,
game
he's
is
in-
so insane.
Stabled. I have a fucking sick black horse from the Dark Mode.
Got Shadowmere, yeah. That's the big one.
Is this her?
No, the guy behind him. The guy behind her.
Do you get to the Cloud District very often?
Oh,
What am
what
I
am I
saying?
saying? Of course you don't. Classic line.
You know
That
what?
guy's such a little shit.
We got to give him the classic.
Give my regards to Carlia when you see her.
You can spoil it for them, see?
Well, it's funny because they have a lot of the same voice actors that, you know.
Oh, yeah,
at
and
least
it's
some of them.
hysterical because sometimes the people that Serana turns into zombies voiced by that guy. So you can just hear him going,
Oh, yeah.
It's so funny.
The reanimated
All the time,
guys
man.
moan and groan.
You guys ready for the greatest fucking line in the game?
Wait, was that Jazargo?
Oh, man. Jazargo. There's another
Jazargo
one.
should be
The
archmage.
sands are cold, but Khajiit feels warmness from your presence. May you walk on warm sands.
He says it
hear
at one
this.
point. Jazargo is
Jazargo.
happy for
Oh.
you, but Jazargo should
I'm
be
always on
archmage.
the
Here he
lookout
is.
for all
Listen,
sorts
listen.
of goods. Bring me whatever you
You gotta
Oh,
let
no.
him talk first.
find, and I'll see what I can
Walk
do.
away from him.
So did Delvin send you again, or are you here on your own this time?
Listen.
Give my regards to Carlia if you see her.
Give my regards to Carlia if you see her. Just want to let you know that I fucked Carlia before you did.
Fucking Carlia.
Still said, have you ever encountered the mannequin bug? I think it was where they actually have their heads turned like an NPC. Yes, there was a mannequin glitch back in the day that you could duplicate sets of armor with a mannequin. If you put it on the mannequin and you like did something, I forgot what it was exactly, it would duplicate. But then there was another bug where like you couldn't interact with them and their heads would turn and actually like follow you. It was kind of creepy.
Oh, there's my horse glitching into the floor.
Shadowmere.
What is happening?
Oh, he's chopping wood.
It's like chopping my horse.
That's the thing, man. If you go to Windhelm, there's the guy chopping wood. Name's Nils. I chop wood. You gotta go to that guy after this. Uh-oh, there's a dragon in the sky. Watch this, folks. This will give you an idea of
Guys ready?
how overpowered Rob is right
Guys
now.
ready?
He's gonna fucking single shot this thing. I am proud that you're using dragon rend. He's up on top. Look at him. He can just jump all the way up. Ah, he got away.
Good. There he is.
Leap onto him. I don't know what he did, but he killed him. That one shot. And then he's able to just grab everything off of the dragon, no problem. It used to be when you killed the dragon, to pick up its dragon bone, its dragon scale would encumber you. And because those dragon bones are like 15 pounds apiece. Shit would weigh you down.
I love when the guard just walk up to you.
I've never seen such a thing.
All the people are looking at it.
By the gods. I don't even know
No, it's
what
like a
to say.
blonde chick.
No. Yeah, she's by the inn or something.
Shore's Bones, a handsome man in Falkreath. He also said, speaking of voice actors, I read that the courier in Skyrim is voiced by the actor of Max Goof. Who's that?
I don't know.
Max Goof.
Oh wait, from Goof Troop, you mean?
Oh, like fucking Goof, like fucking him. Like from
Yeah. That's Will Friedle, isn't it?
can't see.
Or maybe not.
Jason Marsden,
Wait. Jason Marsden. Show me the picture.
I guess. Could be.
I don't know. I don't know.
There's a couple of different voice actors that show. Max Goof. Yeah, there's a couple of. I mean, there's one of the voices on this. You said was the voice of Winnie the Pooh, right?
Oh yeah, Jim Cummings is definitely in this game. Oh,
By the gods. I don't even know what
just gonna
to
keep
say.
staring at it. Is that her? Oh. There she is.
It's really dead then?
Sure as bones.
In all my years,
She's
I've never seen such a
Her.
thing. In all my years, I've
She'll say
never
eventually.
seen such a thing.
No, it's all because they're fucking staring at this dragon. See, now they're not standing around anymore.
Yeah, it says Jason Marsden, Skyrim. Yep, same guy. He's the voice of young Nords in Skyrim.
The Njord.
It's funny because there's really like only like 8
She,
voice
stands
actors in this
outside
game.
by the door. She says that. What the fuck is she?
Short as buns.
I love when she says that.
That's the thing, man. You'll remember these NPCs like forever. You know, just like from these little lines that they repeat, which is more than you can say about that fucking dog shit game Elden Ring. There was nothing memorable about any of the NPCs in that game.
She's still, oh, there she is.
You're doing a fine job around here.
Sure bones. Handsome man in Falkry.
There it is. Short as bones.
That's it.
Handsome man.
Why there?
A strong drink will chase off that chill in the air.
Is that like a
I had
mod?
a
I don't
mind to
remember
ask if
her
you'd take
tits
me on
being
one of
that,
your adventures,
you know,
but I
bodacious.
can't just leave Volga on her own.
But I remember her being a little
Sure
bit, but
bones. Huh?
short as bones.
Need something? Huh?
Need something?
Need something? Yeah? Huh?
Huh?
Yes?
Oh, she's getting annoyed.
Mind if I see that for a second?
See, he's been itching to play my Skyrim. He wants the power of Thor.
No, I want. God damn it! I always forget the controls. They're different. Oh, how the?
What are you trying to do?
Trying to go to
Square. Sure Spoons, a handsome man in Falkry. Telling you, she would have been my number 2
Oh yeah,
after Serana.
definitely.
And then
She's
number
not
3 would be
marryable.
Mule the Lioness.
Yeah, Mule is the go-to. She's not marryable though. Look at the chick. All right, where is this guy?
She's not even like a follower.
Is that him? Name's Nils. I cut wood.
I've been holding on to this for you. Here.
What?
I hope you like it.
Oh,
Fuck, he just
Gave
gave
you
you
Nord
some
meat.
beer.
Name's Nils. I'm the cook up at Candlehearth Hall.
The cook.
Can't just throw the big logs on the fire. Gotta have the little bits.
Yeah, he's
too.
always chopping wood.
When I'm cutting wood, I pretend there's an imperial.
No, you
soldier's
just
head.
remember these fucking people. This game is just great, you know.
Oh my god.
Oh, I guess you didn't do.
Spare a coin for an old woman, my lord. Up to no good, are we?
Yeah, you should be doing this.
I'll teach you.
Shit.
I already as high as he can be.
Oh, thank you.
It's crazy because I mean you really don't have too many quests on your.
No, I've done a fucking million quests.
But there's still there's got to be a bunch of shit that you
I'm sure. And
President.
sometimes I talk to people and it's like, oh, I already killed this person. You're welcome.
Well, the other. Oh, look, a shrine. That's useful.
You know what? I still got to go to Labyrinthine and see if I have all the masks.
That
You know what? Here,
reminds
give me. I want to check it out.
Forget how you go to Blackreach too. What a beautiful game, though.
Blackreach? Oh, that was through the cave.
Yeah, Skyrim's crazy, man. I mean, you know, it's a game that really holds up. It's one of the few games that I've ever played more than once. like the story. Like even Grand Theft Auto, I played the story once, and I was like done for GTA 5 at least. But Skyrim, I've replayed I think 3 times. You know, the first time I played straight and narrow, I was a mage, I was a high elf. Second time, I was a orc, and I just did whatever the fuck I wanted. I break into people's houses, I'd kill whoever I wanted, and you know, you could really role play a bit too. Like, there's just so much shit that you can do.
Well, that's what I was doing. I'm Thor.
Yeah.
There it is.
You gotta get all the masks.
I have a bunch of masks. I just don't know if I have them all.
Still asked if you got the ebony blade. He did.
Oh, yeah.
He got the ebony blade, which is my favorite blade in the game. It looks cool. It's like a black katana. And it's actually the style of my blade in ESO. I made it look like the ebony blade. The story for that was cool. Like, Jarl Balgraf's son was being, you know, there was like the voice talking to him through the door.
You. See? Had to fuck my experience the first time around.
At the Yeti.
Am I absorbing a dragon soul right now?
Yeah, it looks like it. Maybe you killed the dragon here before and
oh yeah, I think it glitched and didn't fucking give me the soul. That's been happening.
He also normally has the ebony mail for his armor.
Oh yeah, you guys want to see fucking stealthy Thor? Alright, well, he's not really Thor at this point. We give him the ebony mail, dragonborn hood, gloves, and boots. And now I'm like noob Cybot with a hammer.
Yeah, the ebony mail is sick. It's cool looking too. The snow elf, the ancient snow elf armor.
Shalador's maze, Shunny. You gotta go into the temple there and put their faces on the shit and see what happens.
Still is right about the voice actor, Jason Marsden.
Give my regards to Carlisle when you see her.
That is, what's his name?
I did all this shit already.
You have to get all the Dragon Priest masks.
No, I did this whole maze.
Stephen Russell does the voice of Nick Valentine as well as several voices on here. And he's also in Starfield, so he does a lot of stuff with Bethesda.
You know where the fucking altar is? Is it in the middle of this shit?
Isn't it in like the mound? Was it here, Labyrinthian?
Yeah. Pretty sure it's part of Shalador's maze.
Isn't it like a separate part?
Is it? Look it up, because I want to find it while we're on stream. I think that would be kind of fun. But yeah, I mean, you know, going into cheating in video games. Oh, what's this? Looks like a doorway.
Where is your game? Oh, is that it over there on the shelf? Glimmering in gold over there?
Yeah, I've got the.
That's what it is over there?
That's what it is, yeah. That's a game genie over there. And I also have, I don't know if you'll be able to find it, but behind the Star Wars figures over there, I think I have a Game Shark too. But I've always enjoyed, you know, being able to break video games and push them to the limits and see what cheats I can get away with and stuff. And I used to get the cheat. No, that's a cleaner. The gold thing is a Game Genie. Chris is grabbing stuff off the shelf. But I used to get like the cheat magazines from the supermarket and CVS and shit back in the day, and I used to get the Nintendo Power magazine and the official PlayStation magazine, and they'd always have some cheats in like the back of the book and whatnot.
I'm gonna cut the game for a second. You could still keep playing, but I'm just gonna go to a camera on us. The Game Genie, folks. This is the origins of being able to cheat in video games. They called this the Game Genie. If you don't know,
Genie, yeah, that's for the original Nintendo.
The original Nintendo, and you would insert this end into the gaming deck. This side faces down, so you would put this down, and then you would put your game in between where the cartridge would go. You would place it in like that, And then when you turned on the Nintendo,
Or well, that's a top-loaded Nintendo. Mine, you had to push it into the shelf,
right?
into the front.
Well, the first Nintendo was like insert, and then the second one, the Super Nintendo, was top-loaded, right? If I remember
Super
correctly.
Nintendo was definitely top-loaded. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
I love that Nintendo still puts their games like on those little cards, like on the SD cards. I just think that's
when
cool.
it comes to Nintendo games, I'm a big believer in physical media because, number one, Nintendo games never depreciate.
Yeah, they retain their value for sure.
And number two, it's just that nostalgia factor of just putting a game into the system. I don't want to totally cut myself away from that. Like when I play PlayStation and stuff, I'll buy all this stuff digitally because I just don't have the room for all these massive gaming libraries anymore.
Central
I just find
Barrow
it really convenient to be able to just play the shit right from the system. But so wait, where is it?
It says the Central Barrow in Labyrinthian.
Oh, the Central Barrow. Okay. No, it's this way.
You have to go to the Central Barrow and then go to the broken shrine and put on the wooden mask.
Yeah,
that should teleport you to a new shrine. You're teleported. Click on each of the faces.
Oh wait, no, this is.
But back to while he looks for this thing.
But yeah,
cheating in video games.
I had the Game Shark for the N64, the Action Replay for PlayStation.
Yep. Action Replay was nuts because what you would have to do is it would come preloaded with a bunch of cheats, but you could also look up new cheats on the internet, which at the time was like, whoa, like you would have to go to Cheat CC or Game Revolution, or there were certain sites that specifically had Game Shark cheats, and Game Shark cheats also worked for Action Replay actually, and it was hexadecimal. So you would actually have to type in lines of code. So for instance, for like WWF No Mercy, there would be like let's just say, or like the SmackDown games, there would be a Game Shark mod for, you get 10 tables. There would be like 22 lines of hexadecimal code where you would have to like copy it from the website line by line. And hexadecimal is you have 0 to 9 and then you have A to F, I believe, right? Is that what it is? And,
I don't know coding at all. So
well, this was like where you learn like the basics of coding pretty much, because then when you look at the lines of code, sometimes they would explain to you like these, 8 characters are for a table, and then this is how many tables you get, or whatever it may be. But this was like the basics of coding. And yeah, you could do some really cool shit with Action Replay and with Game Shark, where you could just totally, it was mods before mods, but it didn't introduce new elements, like new physical things into the game. Oh, here it is. He found it.
All right, so I have.
Can't you just like put them on the thing? I don't
No,
think
you have to put on the wooden mask first.
Right. Real Rocket Boy is here.
Here we go. One of the few things I haven't done in this game yet.
Volsung was the best one because that gave you like way more carry weight. Volsung was the mask I like always wore.
Oh fuck.
Look at that, you got it.
I think it gives you like.
It's the one in the middle, isn't it? That one.
Yeah. I guess I could take them all back too.
Yeah, you can take them back. So you killed all those motherfuckers. Fighting a dragon priest used to be a big deal. It's like, oh shit, dragon priest.
There's nothing in here. 'Cause
So
it's all back
what
in
does that?
time.
What does that mask give you now? The one that you just picked up. It's called like Hevnorak, I think. It goes with an H.
I thought it was, no, it's
Yeah, that one. When health is low, has a chance to heal wearer and damage nearby enemies.
That's pretty good.
No, wait. What's Hevnorak then? I guess that's just.
It's one of the.
Yeah, see, it doesn't even give you anything like that special, you know? But still cool nonetheless. You could put those on display at your home now. You don't wear them anyway, so you might as well.
What's this?
I think it's just telling you put on the wood mask to teleport. Okay. Yeah, back in the day, the cheating, you know, Cheat CC or Cheat Code Central, Game Revolution, and yeah, you would have to like buy magazines that would like tell you the cheats. I mean, everything, man. Grand Theft Auto, the cheats were great. It would always be like L1, L2, R1, R2, up, down, left, right, or like a variation of that. That was the cool part about cheats too. It used to be just like you would have to figure out the you know, pattern of keystrokes to get whatever the cheat was. Up, down, left, right,
you know,
up, down, left, right.
It started with like Konami doing that kind of stuff on original Nintendo, and back then codes were also used to load games at certain levels if you reached a certain point in the game, because they didn't have the capability of saving. So codes were kind of a way to
jump forward,
you know, jump forward in case, you know, because there wasn't any kind of tracking your progress anyway. So they would allow that kind of stuff. I remember the Who Framed Roger Rabbit game was such an in-depth game that it would generate a specific code to restore all the stuff that you had from that specific playthrough, which I thought was really interesting. And it was also one of the hardest games I've ever played that I beat. It was like the Judge Doom battle from that game still gives me PTSD. I think I fought him for an hour. It was like an Elden Ring boss on fucking Nintendo on the NES. It was terrible. And then the payoff was also horrible because they basically said, congratulations, you saved Toontown, the end. And then it just goes back to the main title. And you just sit there like, I spent like how many fucking years trying to beat this game, and I finally did. And now
gave my life for this. You know what's crazy? I just noticed as you were playing here and you loaded to another place is how quick the loading screen was. The Skyrim loading screens used to be fucking like 45 seconds at least. You would be sitting there, and like you could spin around whatever it was on the screen that you could like interact with. Like you could spin it around with the right stick.
That's it.
See, that was it. Boom. You used to sit there. I used to do exercise. I would, when it was the 45-second wait screens, I would start lifting dumbbells because you had nothing to do but just sit there.
That's my excuse to be fat.
I called it the Skyrim workout plan.
The game loads too fast for me to work out while I'm playing it.
Exactly. We're getting some comments here. So Real Rocket Boy, who follows the correct me if I'm saying it wrong, the Everywhere Anywhere game. Very, very much following that. That's the game created by one of the former creators of Grand Theft Auto. So his page is great if you're interested in learning more about the two games. Kind of forget what the deal is exactly with them. I know that they're coming eventually. He said Skyrim's amazing.
Remind me of the Goombas and the fucking elevator.
The trolls. Oh, I love that scene. Lester Crest, which is a great name for a page that largely posts a lot of GTA content. He said, "How was it chilling with I Show Speed, Mr. Griffin?"
Truly rid of vampires in Skyrim.
What was it?
He asked, "How was it chilling with I Show Speed?"
Oh yeah, he's crazy. We had people fucking following the car.
That was crazy to watch, dude.
On bicycles and shit.
I was afraid you guys were just gonna get torn apart by the people. Like there are so many people there, just like gathering around.
Just tear from here. Just take all of this. I can have it. There's plenty of me to go around. But yeah, it was a crazy collab. He hit me up on Instagram, and we made it happen.
Yeah, you did.
And
that was nuts. You could we have it's not that many episodes back. You could see we have an episode where Rob talks about in detail what that experience was like.
Is he like practicing reading an Elder Scroll? Is that what he's doing?
He's blind, so he doesn't realize he's not holding one.
Fucking Stevie Wonder.
You go blind from reading too many Elder Scrolls.
Yeah. Well, even like the only reason that moth priests are able to read multiple times is because of the training, the extensive training that they go through.
And I think they like keep themselves blindfolded the rest of the time, or something like
But yeah, the Elder Scrolls will cause blindness, which I was afraid of. I was like,
Yeah,
they're
I
making you
know.
read an Elder Scrolls.
They
Like,
make
don't
you
tell me
think.
they're gonna fucking Arthur Morgan me
Nah,
in this game right now.
You turn out all right. He said it was Lester mentioned it was really entertaining to watch that. Thanks for the feedback. Yeah, no, that was entertaining to watch, and who knows, maybe we'll do that again.
Never
at
know.
some point.
Crazy shit's happen. You know.
Yeah.
Then I went to Method Man's birthday party that weekend.
You've
Just
been
kind of
living
a
the dream.
crazy ass weekend. And then did Niagara Falls Comic Con. I did Undiscovered Realm Comic Con. Gonna be hanging out, doing a little pool party celebration with Skittleside and McNucks, who are my stream mates. With Fortnite, Wednesday Team Fortnite streams. And I'm sorry I've missed those for the last couple of weeks, but I've just been super busy. And yeah, it's
And also Fortnite has sucked
I was excited
lately.
to show this to you guys because like I did a complete 180 on my opinion of Skyrim because of the modding capabilities and whatnot. I had a blast with it, and just to give the final 162 hours of Skyrim.
Huh. That's more than I thought you would have had. I mean, I definitely have.
I mean, I've taken my time, and don't forget, not only did I do all this,
You got Soulstein.
I got Soulstein too. Yeah. Where the fuck is the arrow for Soulstein? There it
Yeah, I mean, this game is just incredible.
You know?
I'm glad you
Did all
finally
the
got through a
quests.
lot of the story. Because it's entertaining.
This was a bitch. This particular thing. Because it starts off as a hole that's filled, like to the top, before the stairs are there. And there's a dark elf guy over here that basically makes you keep giving him gold to hire people to keep digging. And you keep coming back, and they keep finding more and more Draugr. There's old Draugr inside of this thing.
Right.
And I mean, you end up getting a word of power, and there's all kinds of shit in here. But you can see the bodies strewn about. Every time you come back, like the miners get killed and the bodyguards get killed, and you have to keep giving him more and more gold each time. I think the last time he asked you for gold, it's like 5,000 gold. So at the end, you finally get to the bottom, and you find out that he's been being manipulated by some Daedric lord or whatever, and he's been luring all these people to their deaths. So you beat it might have been one of the dragon priests for all I know. You kill him, you break the spell on the guy that's been luring them in, and if you agree to not tell anybody what he did, he becomes available as a follower and stays at the inn in Raven Rock. I thought he was a prick, but I saved him for one sole purpose. There is a quest called Boethian's Cult.
Boethia's Calling.
And in order to get that Daedric Lord's blessing and armor and shit, well, it's actually
the Daedric artifact.
Well, it's this outfit. It's the ebony armor with the shadow. In order to get this, you have to sacrifice a follower. So it got to a point where I think I was doing a companion quest, and it disbanded Mule, and Serana was never actually a follower at that point. She was just following me around because I saved her from the cave. So I was like, oh, now that Mule's gone, let me go back here, and I went and got the dark elf asshole that killed all those people, and I sacrificed him to the other Daedric Lord. So I didn't have to waste somebody that I actually cared about. And that's the kind of the fun thing about this game, is that you can do full circle shit like that.
Yeah. Well, and each Daedric Lord or Daedric Prince has a Daedric artifact, which is either a piece of armor or a weapon. So yeah, that one was fun because you could betray someone.
And then I mean, this armor has served me very well throughout the game. I mean, it literally turns into a fucking shadow that does damage.
Oh, Rocket Boy, that is a good. You just reminded me. I forgot about that. He said, "I like how cheat codes were saved on the phone on GTA 4." Yeah, that was cool because you could just go to your phone, boop boop boop, and put it in and get the cheat. Made things a lot easier.
Yeah, I got a little more exploring to do on this part of the map, but I gotta say, you know, I've really been
got through most of it.
And you know what? You know what I should show them? Show them the casa. So I've got a couple of houses.
So he went from hating this game to loving it.
Well, it's because I didn't have to go too crazy with the crafting. They like couldn't sell me a house in Dawnstar. They sold me a building. There it is. Winstead Manor. Check out my bougie ass house that I built. So, got my stable, you know.
Homesteading was such a cool addition to this game.
Look at this. I gotta get some livestock or something too. I don't know how you do that. Look at that. Got the 3 towers in the building. And go inside. I really gotta outfit it with all the shit. But
you have to put
stuff.
You have to
in
put
there.
shit in the displays.
Oh,
yeah.
I know. But I focused on getting all the stuff built. Like I had all these bookshelves, but I don't like how the books have been sitting in there. Like
I like
they'll
that.
flop over. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
but they're at least on display.
I don't give a shit about that. 'Cause you can't read the titles on the side anyway. Yeah, I got all this stuff in here. The basement's fun.
Yeah, the basement's sick. You got a whole forge down there. You get
And look what I did.
the mannequins. Oh, nice. There you go. Yeah, put it on display.
Yeah. Oh, and that was another thing I forgot to show you. I wish there was like a second one there. I would have put it next to him, but
Homesteading
second
is one of
floor.
the. I mean, and this was an addition. It wasn't originally in Skyrim. They added the homesteading. Ulfric Stormcloak's.
I put Ulfric's
Ulfric
outfit here.
Stormcloak's outfit.
Yeah, I was starting to dabble a little bit. I definitely wanted to put the Emperor's outfit because I have, especially that I have 2, because I killed the imposter and looted his.
Put the ancient snow elf armor on one. Since you're not wearing it.
You know what? We could show that because I have it in my inventory.
This is the coolest armor in the game, in my opinion. The ancient Falmer. Look how badass that is. It's beautiful. There should be a crown. I forget what it's called.
Where's his crown? I mean, it does look pretty snazzy. Like a hero.
Great quest line.
What else looks great is the Saint stuff. I thought this was like a nice little.
Yeah, putting the shit on. That's a nice glass. It's not, you
I thought
know.
it made the wall pop a little more.
Yeah.
Really tied the room together, like the rug.
Dude, I had fucking.
I wish
you
they
know,
put like a fucking sconce or something. It's too dark in this corner.
all the Daedric artifact weapons on the rack over there. All the cool staffs that I collected were on that rack over there.
Oh, this is everything.
Chest of all the shit.
Everything.
A lot of modded stuff.
Every fucking weapon. Everything.
That's what makes a good game, where you can have different types of weapons.
This one looks pretty sick though.
Blades, mace.
Sure, spoons.
Yeah, Skyrim's a sick game,
I've
dude.
got all these staffs and shit. I should sell like some of them.
A lot of them are just crap, honestly.
I just thought they looked cool because I also grabbed the 4 staffs from the labyrinthian maze too, because you had to like cast certain kinds of magic, and I guess they provided you with the staffs in case you didn't have that school of magic. But I have all the shrines.
If I may. Check out.
Oh, and then
First
there's the
one.
aquarium. I still have to dump all my fish in these.
I think this is a mod. I don't think that this was originally in the game, but
it
it's
could have
cool.
been one of those things that was listed in that lengthy like overhaul.
Yeah, the fish. I do not remember having fish tanks. I'm
But I
pretty sure
like
this-
it. I like the idea.
It's cool. Yeah, no, it's cool.
And I even ended up getting some of them glowfish and shit.
I'm
and
not
the,
anti-mod. I'm just.
And the Karen, the Soul Karen.
I think it's just cool to play through without.
Well,
the first time.
To be fair, I did try
Tried.
playing the normal way years ago and didn't like it. So this was my second chance, or third, or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah, I want to see.
Circle.
Where is it? I want to go to the throat of the world.
Oh, it's down the bottom.
Highest point in the game.
I didn't kill the dragon up there. No, I'm leaving him alive.
Why?
The head of the.
Oh, is it Parthenux?
Yeah.
Yeah, Parthenux. There's a mod called the Parthenux solution that lets you not kill him, and then go back to the blades and just be like, no, I'm not killing him. There's also
well, the blades basically told me that I'm not part of them anymore if I don't kill him. So
Exactly.
I just stopped being part of them.
Check this out. The notched pickaxe. This is a rare collectible, actually. I think it like lets you mine quicker. You have a mod that lets you mine quicker anyway, but definitely always.
I can't believe that's considered faster mining though.
Oh, dude, you'd be sitting here forever waiting for the freaking thing. So yeah, that's actually a rare thing. So yeah, this is the highest point in the game, and I wish it was a little clearer out so that you could just see the. That's crazy, dude. Why am I staying here? Is that part of your jump mod? That you freeze in the air?
Well, no. I think it's.
I'm holding it down.
I think you're standing on something that's not supposed to exist.
I don't know, dude.
You're not supposed to be able to get that high. Is the point. Yeah, but we're all Goombadils now because learn the Thum and shit and beat the boss or whatever. Yeah, there he is down
Is it
there.
the same dragon?
That's the guy, isn't he? No, he's a
different dragon. Parthenux.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. Don't do that.
No, well, even if you tell him, he's like, perhaps I do deserve to die. I forget, that might be another dragon that's cool, that sided with him or something. I kind of forget.
Well, no, when you beat the main campaign, I think all the dragons of the land fucking show up at the throne of the world to be there to witness you basically become the new fucking head honcho.
Good idea, Sil. Maybe that will work.
What?
There's a clear skies spell. I think it's a shout.
Oh, wait, isn't that the shit that you use against the guy?
Yeah.
No, it's a shout.
Yeah.
You're in like atmospheric fog. I don't think it's gonna actually.
Yeah, I mean, it does look like a little clearer, actually. I think it's just crazy because all of that is traversable. You know, all of that is part of the map. Like when you really look at it, you know, all that shit is out there and beyond, like beyond what you could even see. There's just shit everywhere in this game.
To infinity and beyond.
Yeah, it really is a beautiful game. We have some good comments here. Said the aquarium is part of the Skyrim update. So I guess it is part of the update. In the beginning, I love the quick way to level up some skills in Helgen.
Helgen?
Yeah, here it is. This is where you encountered the Yeti that you hated so much.
Piece of shit. Yeah, I was trying to make my way up to the fucking...
Is that
Greybeards.
Riverwood down there? Probably. Yeah, Riverwood. First place you go. Yeah, honestly, I mean, like, the music is one of the things that just really pulls you into this game. You get so lost.
Let me see.
1 sec, I just want to find one guy that I've been talking about a lot. Riften. I would say if I had to choose my favorite city, it'd probably be Riften. How do you fast travel to? Yeah, I gotta land.
Maybe, yeah, you can't fast travel when you
Just want to see
One thing.
I had another run-in with a
You're the lioness. So I married Mule, and I killed this fucking guy that's always following her around, simping. And then I took their house. You marry her, you can move in with her. Fellow Nord.
No, I joined them and killed your leader. So.
This lady's like always a bitch.
You gonna buy something, or just here for training? Otherwise, move on.
Treat all your customers like this.
Look, I've moved all over Skyrim selling these bits of
She's
junk.
such a bitch.
I'm
That's the
not
thing
out.
too, and you always remember when they're a
Sooner I get
bitch.
out of Skyrim,
You
the
know?
better.
You always remember this guy. You screwed him over.
Oh yeah, he went to jail, right?
Yeah.
I guess he got out.
Working at the Rift and Fishery is
I
tough.
just want to find Bali. This guy I accidentally married.
Oh no.
Balamant. Is that his name? Balamant. Yep. Oh, here he is,
Beautiful
Bali.
baubles.
Here he is.
New in town, eh? Here for the fishing, I guess. Only the best in all of Riften. Started out with a single fishing pole, and too bad I haven't had the same success helping this city shed its poverty. Nivenor is my wife.
Nivenor's my
I tried
wife.
to include her in my lesson. Yes,
Trying to see
that
if he
was
has a quest
the
for you.
paltry amount of coin that I placed. I saw the only untapped market left is Markar. However, I just got word that Klepper at the Silver Blood Inn might be interested. If you're headed that way, I would appreciate you delivering a purchase agreement for me.
Purchase agreement to Markarth. I wish Little Joe was here.
Oh, yeah.
Good. Klepper
I wanna
will
do
pay
it.
you as soon as you arrive.
Well, don't finish the quest. That's the best part. Because the whole point is that every time you talk to this guy, watch this, watch. Oh, don't you go
Did you
inside.
get that purchase agreement to Markarth yet?
Every time you talk to this fucking guy, you walk away. Did you get that purchase agreement to Markarth yet?
There's nothing like fishing on Lake Ongar.
That's like one of the Carlisle lines. Yeah. Real Rocket Boy said, enjoy the stream, guys. Chris, just so you know, the Everywhere game is available on closed beta. You got to get invited to it, and it's only PC players at the moment, so feel free to sign up. Yeah, follow the Real Rocket Boy if you're interested in learning more about the Everywhere game. That's something being created. I think, was it Leslie Benzies or was it Hauser that was working on that? But one of the original creators of Grand Theft Auto apparently is working on this game, and looks interesting for sure. So definitely check out the Real Rocket Boys page. He's been religiously following that and posting any updates and information on that. It's just so. I love.
If we
this
were
game.
doing a whole Skyrim stream, that would be me that's involved with it. It's insane. There you go. What has happened? What has happened with the world?
Yeah, it's definitely a new day for sure. Need something?
What is it? Dragons?
This guy's missing an
This
eye.
guy's, he's got some PTSD right there. It's like, dragons? Oh my
Dra-
god.
What is it, dragons?
Dragons? Is it dragons again? Oh my god. Help. Hulkmania.
Appreciate that, Rocket Boy. Good information to know.
You gonna buy something?
Yeah,
Or just here for
Skyrim is
training?
definitely. So you said Leslie
I'm
Benzies,
not
yeah.
out to win friends, and I could
I'll leave the sign up
sooner I
link in
get
my
out of
community for
Skyrim,
you.
the
Check it
better.
out.
Are you serious?
checking out.
The war is. If I were you, I'd pack up and get out of here before you end up in one of those burial cairns.
I'm not
Come
buying
back when
shit
you're
from
ready
you.
to spend more
Fucking
gold.
miserable bitch.
Goodness knows I could use it.
If it's type of my bad, point is after you get a free.
And they want you to hate her because most business people, you can like invest in their business.
Yeah.
Yes, Sarah?
Yes, Sora.
I picked
Dark
up a
elves.
trick from a butcher in Elenir.
After you get
Small
freed
fish
at the
should
start,
know a way
follow
to
the
grind up
Imperial,
ice
and then you
with
can
teeth and
upgrade
use it
Sneak,
as a
Destruction
preservative.
Magic, and One-Handed
Everything
if you
cold
get the
and
sword
always
not
wanting
in the
to replenish my
chest.
supply. So if you ever
Yeah, there's
come
there's a
across
couple of
fire,
cool little like secret
then
things that
I was
people
actually
don't
worried
know.
I'd run out. Perfect, just and as promised.
I think that guy's a
here's my
storm
trick.
cloak though.
Hope you like it.
Correctly.
Thanks again for the ice wraith teeth.
Look at that. He gave us some ice wraith teeth.
I've never seen Mule this upset about
This
anything.
fucking cuck.
The city really gets to her.
I hate this guy.
Help.
Look at his smarmy ass face. Yeah, so
Simp.
if you marry Mule,
told me that
you
it
could
isn't as
move
bad
in with her.
I know, you were
And
telling
she
me.
lives at Aaron's house, and then I killed Aaron. So I literally married his
Find
woman
into
and
your
then moved
friend,
into his
and
house.
You die with a
Killed
sword in
him.
your hands.
Looking to stay alive? Why take a chance?
Mule's the best.
I see I still have much
I
to learn.
downloaded a mod that you're supposed to be able to have multiple followers, but it wasn't working.
Vin said,
You never know.
yeah, Vin. So we before we started showcasing
Vincenzo.
Skyrim, we showed the video on the stream of Rob vehemently, hating this game. The Temple of Mara. I filled this place with skulls in my game. Every skull that I ever encountered in the game, I picked up and I dropped every single one of them in the Temple of Mara. By the end of it, I was knee deep in skulls whenever I walked in there.
Should we go to the Rift Stormcloak camp?
Yeah, go kill a bunch of Stormcloaks.
Kill a
and
bunch
then
of Stormcloaks.
Get to, we'll start talking a little bit about House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
See, actually, I'll say that this game is what got me. Oh wow, there's already a fight going on. This game is what got me into Game of Thrones, because I actually originally refused to watch Game of Thrones. I was like, no, it's a knockoff.
Where'd you come from?
Just killed the guard. Oh, and then Serana killed. There you go. Yeah, I originally thought like Game of Thrones was a ripoff of Skyrim, when in reality, Skyrim kind of ripped off Game of Thrones with the whole, North Rebellion, King of the North, all that stuff. But, just the fantasy of it all. It is very similar in a lot of
They didn't
ways.
even witness me kill him. That's the funny part.
Wasn't like Bethesda making a Game of Thrones game or something like that? Was that
No,
just
they're
like
making an Indiana Jones game.
I thought there was somebody making a Game of Thrones game.
It's like that shitty mobile game that they keep advertising every time they
Oh, yeah,
show
the
out.
dragon shit.
You'd better clear out.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't do that. What's wrong? Somebody stole your sweet roll.
Oh, he must be the unkillable. I just smacked his face right into the fucking...
The way that they like scorpions sometimes is classic.
A hot vampire wife fucking...
So all those skulls almost like the paths of the dead from the Lord of the Rings. Another nice fantasy drama genre, but never saw Lord of the Rings. Never saw it. Notice though, you did conquer the base. See how it's white now?
Well, I just discovered it.
Oh, that's true. White doesn't mean that you actually
No, it just means
cleared
you've
it.
been there and you can teleport there.
There's a cave nearby that you haven't gotten to.
That's what I'm gonna...
There's the mobile game Game of Thrones Conquest. Yeah, that. Actually, I remember people were playing that for a little while.
I'm not playing
On Reddit, it says whatever happened to the Bethesda Game of Thrones game. Somebody said, pretty sure it's just a rumor. It was a rumor. But I mean, I'm surprised people haven't modded. I mean, I know there's mods that you can get like Lannisters and stuff, but I bet you could make a really cool Game of Thrones game within the Skyrim engine if somebody modded it, right?
It's weird because it's like showing that there's like
Snap
Dark Water Pass.
Yeah, there's something somewhere. It's probably lower on the ground. There was
I should
actually a
see it.
Telltale game for Game of Thrones that was pretty
I
goddamn
remember when
good.
that
It was
came
fucked up. Like Ramsay Bolton's in it, and like they kill your brother, and it definitely felt like you were playing a season of Game of Thrones, and it wasn't like very combat heavy.
I only
It was-
played one Telltale game. It was the Wolf Among Us. It was actually a pretty good game.
It's like you just make decisions, and it affects what happens in the story. And Marjorie was in it. It was definitely a good Telltale game. I'd recommend it if you like Song of Ice and Fire.
Where did you come from? Did you hear it?
Skeevers.
I skeeved these guys. Oh, thanks for the free.
I'll teach you.
Yeah.
I'm okay with the
Why did
dark.
that deer have a silver ring?
More than my share of time in caves already.
There goes Serana complaining about caves again.
On that tunnel there. There you go.
I know. I was just looking around. Kill that thing. Oh, here we go.
Oh, hags.
Good night. There's probably a Hargraven in here too.
Hag Raven. actually. You should use a sword just so you get to cut people's heads off more.
Oh, I still get to cut people's heads.
I know, but it's not as common with the hammer. The hammer does more
Oh,
bashing.
it's funny. My
finishers.
niece was watching me play today, and I cut the head off. She's like, "Oh my god!"
So honestly, there's not a lot of games where you can cut people's heads off. I mean,
Spider.
it's becoming more commonplace.
Hello,
having destructible...
friends of Hagrid.
What was the name of that spider again? Harry Potter.
Oh, fuck. If you didn't ask me, I wouldn't know.
Right?
Shelob.
What's the name of the spider in Harry Potter? Chat, let us know.
Was it not Shelob? Maybe that's the spider from Lord of the Rings.
I'll know it once somebody says it. And nothing too crazy here. Well,
there should be a chain over here.
Once he clears this, Aragog, that was it. Aragog.
Somebody confirm that if Shelob is the name of the fucking spider in Lord of the Rings. Yeah, see? Yeah, there it is. Fuck you.
Oh, he is the Hag Raven.
Thanks for the feathers, bitch.
Wait, did you do the quest where you like end up finding out that you married one?
What?
Yeah, there's a quest where
Is that where you have the drinking match?
Yeah, you drink.
It wasn't a Hag Raven that you married.
Yeah, you wake up and you fucking married one of those Hag Ravens. And like
I was already married to Serana, so maybe that's why I wasn't.
No. It's like a quest.
No, I woke up blacked out and everybody was complaining to me that there was a wedding, and then I showed up to the wedding ceremony.
It might be a different quest, I don't know, but you end up going and finding out that you married her, and she's like, you like try to break up with her, and she like snaps. Aragog, yep. That's correct. Shelob is Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
Thank you, Sil.
Still like looting things. You know, me too.
All right,
Come
well,
on, Serana, get the fuck out of the way.
Kind of, we'll get to, because it's getting late. We'll talk about some of the other things that we're going to talk about.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
covered cheating a bit.
Well, we wanted to talk about House of the Dragons.
House of the Dragons. So you are caught up on that?
Yes, I am.
What do you think so far?
I've been enjoying the season. Unpopular opinion, but I don't enjoy the show as much as Game of Thrones.
I don't think that's enough. I think most people enjoyed Game of Thrones more than House of the Dragon, but
yeah, it's just. But I'm watching it. I think my problem with this show, and I was talking with, I don't know if I was talking with you or Vin about this, that it's like, I just can't find characters to resonate with. I don't like any of the characters. I liked Robert Baratheon, and I liked Jon Snow, and I liked
Tyrion,
and there was like so many characters that were like fun to watch. And
you don't like watching Daemon?
I don't like Daemon at all.
What? Daemon's the best, dude. He's fucking
like
dude. Hold on, I was watching it with Little Joe when Daemon is fucking walking through Harrenhal in the rain. When he's walking through that fucking
with the black armor,
with the black armor in that last episode, and it's like,
and then they kind of made it anticlimactic because they immediately just gave up, so he didn't even get to fight.
Yes, yeah. I mean, he didn't fight there, but it was still a badass.
Which
scene.
means he's probably gonna get killed.
I mean, I don't want to spoil nothing, but no. I mean, the whole point is that is the remnants of how strong. How strong was killed in the fire by the Clubfoot, who was also a strong. He burned his own father and his brother. In
He's
the
castle.
guy
that the fucking
sired the bastards.
No, I mean the guy with the foot fetish. That's
yes.
him?
So if you remember, and because I actually went back and I rewatched the first season because you forget a lot of the stuff and like aren't able to connect the dots as well.
You're like a fucking encyclopedia if you're not.
Yeah. Well, no, but I mean, people watching it, like Little Joe didn't realize when he went to Harrenhal. If you remember last season. That's where there was that fire, because he had the guy who was like the hand of the king, and then his son was banging Rhaenyra, and he was the guy that sired her children secretly, but not so secretly because everybody knew it. So you had Harwin Strong and his father, I forget what his name is, and the clubfoot was the youngest son. He was the younger brother, and he set the fire at Harrenhal and killed them all. If you remember, they were like burning alive, and they're like, "No, help us!" and they burnt. So when Daemon goes to Harrenhal, that's the remnants of how strong. And the guy was pretty much like, "Fuck them! I'm siding with you. I'm not gonna side with the king. Clubfoot burnt us alive."
Fuck the king's god. Fuck the king.
Daemon's a great character. I don't know. I
don't know.
I love Matt Smith. His portrayal of him. I think he's doing a great job. He's very badass.
Did I get caught?
You gotta use your super jump.
I am jumping, but it's not jumping.
He's gonna have to load a quick save. But he's still distracted with Skyrim here. We gotta move on. It's 11 o'clock.
I know. Well, I'm gonna keep playing while we talk. Or maybe not.
So, just kind of catching up. We talked about some of the differences. I don't know if everybody knows a lot of the differences. The first episode started with Blood and Cheese, which was Daemon hiring assassins to kill
Yeah, that was
Aemond.
fucked.
Yeah.
I knew that guy was going to kick that dog. Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
I'm glad he fucking... The crows are plucking his fucking eyes.
Well, it's funny because they keep showing him like over several episodes. They still show him hanging there.
They want you to like remember, hey, remember when we killed this guy?
Yeah.
Show's not all that bad.
Tales of Dunk and Egg will be better received. Possibly. I mean, it seems like after every episode of House of the Dragon, I'm in a lot of Game of Thrones like groups on Facebook or Reddit or whatever, and people are just always pulling out the magnifying glasses and complaining and saying, "Oh, in the books they would have never done this." I think they're doing a great job adapting the books into the show. They're adding character to characters who otherwise didn't have much character. So, for instance, like Viserys was the star. Paddy Constantine was the star of season 1. When in the books, he really wasn't that interesting of a character. He was kind of just like he was the king, he was the placeholder, but there wasn't much character behind him, and he did a really good job. I think Matt Smith is doing a great job with Daemon.
I'm not taking away from Matt Smith's performance. I don't care for the character.
Well, he's kind of an asshole.
I think they're all assholes. That's the problem. Is that like I don't have a favorite asshole. I want them all to die. I don't care about any of them.
There's not.
I like the father, and then every scene he looked worse and worse, and then he's dead.
There's not enough humor.
This latest episode was like, oh my god! Like you just realize that you fucking caused this whole war, and then you're just gonna run away. And it's like
you're talking about
Rhaenyra talking to Alicent.
Yeah. So that was not in the books. That was something they did for the show. A lot of people are complaining about it. It's stupid that she would go and risk everything. I liked it because it did make everything come full circle. Because
they have to have something exciting. Because what are you going to sit there and fucking fall asleep for the whole show?
Right. Well, and it brings to the surface
tell a story.
The fact that because that is something that they added in the show. Originally, it wasn't when he was dying on his deathbed. Him telling the story about Aegon's conquest and the prince that was promised. That was never in the books. So that was something that they changed, and it was kind of like, oh, whoa, that explains why Alicent
now his
started
Lego
this.
set's broken.
Yeah, his Lego set's destroyed. I like that they brought to the surface that it was all caused by her misinterpreting his dying words, but also that, at this point it's too late to change anything. The die has been cast and everything is already set
it's
in
like,
motion.
oh, sorry, I made a mistake, so undo the deaths of everyone. Sorry.
Well, that and all the people that are around them are so ready for war. I mean, you could see all the people around Alicent were already planning to usurp the throne. They have that council there, and, from the moment Viserys died, they started plotting. But they're also showing it around Rhaenyra. She's trying to stop a war from happening when, these guys around her are like, we're just going to go to war. We got to take out the dragons. So one thing that I'm really excited about that they've been planting the seeds for, not to use a pun, but they have been gently introducing several of, and they finally used the term in the last episode, the dragon seeds. So what you're going to see, and I'm not going to spoil too much because, look, the reality is the books were written. The spoilers are all out there, so I'm not going to spoil too much, but they're introducing what's called the dragon seeds. They showed the guy in the last episode who said that he was so that's Ulf the Sot. He was the guy that was like, going to the bar and he was telling them like I have the blood of the dragon. My father was Balin the Brave. So he was explaining that he's a bastard Targaryen. And then they also introduced in the episode before that Hugh the Hammer, who you probably don't remember now, but if you saw him, you'd be like, oh yeah, that guy. He had a wife and a daughter, and he had like the silver or white hair. He was a blacksmith, so they introduced Hugh the Hammer. They also introduced Adam and Alan, who are the two guys that are they're at like the ship dock, and one of them pulled the sea snake out of the water.
Yeah,
they kind of look like the sea snake too a little bit because they're the only other black characters in the story apart from the sea snake. So take from that what you will. So they're introducing these characters, which are called the Dragon Seed, and in A Song of Ice and Fire, Game of Thrones, there's something called the Rite of First Night, which is pretty much, it's actually a medieval practice, so it's kind of historical, but whenever commoners or anybody really gets married, the lord of that area gets the right of first night. So what that means is, I'm a peasant. I'm going to marry this woman, this crofter's daughter. Well, the lord of, the Dreadfort, which would be like Roose Bolton, technically gets to take the first shot at my future wife. And he gets to bang her before me. He gets to deflower her before me. Damn. And in some of these places, they might even get her pregnant. And then you have to raise your lord's bastard child.
Is that part of Project 25 too?
Yeah, probably. And so, that tradition carried on for a while. Jaehaerys, the king before Viserys, actually, his wife did away with it, but some lords are still doing it. And in places like Dragonstone, where the Targaryens are from, and Driftmark, where the Valyrians are from, it's actually considered like an honor, though. Like, the small folk aren't, they're honored.
Well, you got to figure in a fucked up way, it's almost like an opportunity, because if the king doesn't come up with any male heirs and one of his bastards it can rise the status of that family.
Sure.
Immediately.
It's definitely possible people to inherit, that is true. That's why some lords do have bastards. I mean, Ramsay was Roose Bolton's bastard, and his legitimate son was killed by Ramsay. Sometimes it creates more problems for them when they have bastards, which is the Blackfire Rebellion.
That's the Game of Thrones. It's, who survives and who takes the throne.
But, I mean, you could see when Ulf the Sot was talking about being a Targaryen, he was like, shh, and then once the king came in, he was like, oh, and he was like, all hail the king. I thought that was funny. So he's like doesn't want it known that he's a Targaryen, because that could almost be a threat to his existence. If people knew about that, then he has a
more legitimate claim to the throne because he's closer in blood to the king.
Somewhat. I mean, when you're a bastard, bastards don't have claim usually unless all
the
legitimate.
whole problem was that Rhaenyra was a woman. If they knew that there was a son.
Well, no. So he, Ulf is actually technically Rhaenyra's uncle.
That's
half uncle. He was Viserys's.
Who was his brother?
Yes, that was his claim, that he's Viserys, and I guess Daemon, if he ever meets Daemon.
Daemon's brother too.
Half brother, yes. Yeah, that was no, I'm sorry. Or was it that he's their uncle? Balin the Brave.
He's the uncle of the king.
He's the uncle of Rhaenyra and the king, yes.
Well, of Rhaenyra too?
Well, yeah, because they're technically the king is Rhaenyra's brother. He looks like he's the
same age as Rhaenyra.
He's younger, yeah, but Balin the Brave was. I'm trying to think. I think he might be Viserys' father. Yeah, because you had Jaehaerys, and then he had a son, Balin the Brave. Yeah, so he would technically be a half brother to Viserys and Daemon. Okay. Which would make him an uncle to Rhaenyra and the king, which is Aegon II.
Yeah.
So
it's so fucking confusing.
It's a lot, it's a lot of names.
It's a lot
of
incest that doesn't make sense too.
Usually, people remember faces. I mean, I can't tell you how many people watch Game of Thrones.
And then Game of Thrones, and then they change the actor sometimes. And it's like now.
That's another thing that worked against House of the Dragon.
Like that one guy that was following fucking Daenerys for the first season, and they completely changed the actor.
Dario Naharis.
Yeah.
Well, that's the only real case in Game of Thrones. They changed him and the Mountain were the only actors that changed
Well, the
in
Mountain
Game
you
of
wouldn't
Thrones.
be able to tell. 'Cause...
Right. House of the Dragon, what kind of worked against it was you had such a long period of time and they fast-forwarded through it that you had different actresses for Rhaenyra. You had different actresses for Alicent. You had different actors, you know, for Laenor and Laena.
Wait, they changed Alicent? When did they change Alicent?
Yeah, Alicent was a younger girl, and then she's now a woman. If you go back and rewatch it, she's a totally different actress.
I don't remember.
She's
that.
a younger chick. I don't remember the actress's name. And you had
Obviously, I know Rhaenyra changed.
Right. You had Millie Alcock. Is that her name? And you know now she's whoever she is now. I forget her name, but yeah, they changed actresses and actors, and that confuses people. You know, because usually with Game of Thrones, even people remember faces. You know how many times people have said, "Oh yeah, my favorite character is the midget." It's like this show has been out for 8 seasons and you haven't learned his name is Tyrion.
If you don't know Tyrion by now,
that's what I'm saying. But that's how a lot of TV fans are. So, you know, they are starting to simplify a little bit. And thankfully now it's not like fast forwarding through time. So it's going to be the same actors and you're going to kind of grow attached to some of these. And I think they're building them good. I mean, you have Otto Hightower, who's definitely
oh yeah, he's a
motherfucker.
They're really testing his patience this season.
Oh yeah,
it's so funny though.
Yeah, he went off on Aegon the last episode.
Yeah, he fucking just tore into his ass.
You fool! He's
like you're gonna live to regret this.
Yeah. I mean, Daemon, they're building him. Aemond, one eye, you know, with the sapphire in his eye.
Oh, you mean blue steel?
He's definitely he's always got that. He's got that face. Yeah, he's always like gleaming or whatever. Oh, Hells is in the house.
Hells.
He said I'm late. I'm loving it, man.
You missed Skyrim. We played some Skyrim.
Yeah, we played some Skyrim. But the dragon seeds. They're introducing these dragon seeds, and, I mean, they've already kind of revealed
another thing I wanted
bastards.
to mention is that the eggs that she's traveling with supposedly are the eggs that eventually end up in Daenerys Targaryen's dragons.
Right. Yeah, they mentioned that in the first
season. Because they think
season.
they die, and then when she, you know, reactivates like the magic, it like brings them back to life essentially, those eggs, because I think they die and become dormant.
Well, all the dragons eventually die. Most of them die during this series.
I mean those eggs though. I think those specific
eggs they say the years, I mean when they first show them they say the years have turned them to stone. But, you know, they're still valuable just because of what they are. But yeah, Daenerys brings them back, you know, by heating them and, you know, I guess the bond between a Targaryen and the eggs. So yeah, she does. You know, she's responsible for bringing the dragons back. But House of the Dragon is going to really show what happened to all the dragons, because there's this huge civil war, and there was all these dragons, and obviously something happens where they're all gone. It's because most of them die. You know, it's just like hellfire and brimstone. Again, it's not a spoiler because obviously they all die, because then that's what makes Daenerys special.
Or dragons would be flying around everywhere in fucking Westeros and.
Right. Well, what ends up also happening, dragons are kind of like almost like akin to like nuclear bombs in this, or like crazy fighter jets. And what really ends up happening is over time, you know, a lot of them die, but the new ones that are born are like shrunken and feeble and you know, stunted and disformed and all that.
Almost more like a wyvern than a dragon.
That, you know, kind of, and you end up kind of figuring out in the Game of Thrones books that there's one guy, Marwyn, who says, what do you think happened to the dragons? Do you think they just died? No, that he was claiming that the maesters were poisoning the dragons because there was no place for magic in their world. And pretty much you could see a maester justifying it. Well, if we kill all the dragons, then you're saving thousands and thousands and thousands of people from dying, because dragons are just weapons.
Would it not be kinder wiser to kill the dragons now so that thousands may live?
You know, that's the reasoning. So yeah, the voice is
terrible.
Your Grace, this man is unqualified.
Yeah, petrified. That's the right word for it. Hells. They become petrified.
First they were
turn to
afraid.
stone. First they were afraid, first everyone else was afraid, then they became petrified. But yeah, so the dragon seeds, I just want to put a bow on that. They're going to be significant characters, because we've learned from watching Game of Thrones and everything else that having the blood of the dragon is significant. There's a certain magic. just like the Starks are naturally inclined to be able to, you know.
Is there a reason for that? Was there like an ancestral Targaryen that made a deal or something?
Well, the Targaryens come from old Valyria, which was at one point like the Rome of their time, if not more so, more powerful. It's like a magic Rome. They enslaved much of Essos. They conquered all of the Rhoynar, and they conquered the slavers, and they pretty much controlled the whole eastern continent. And then at some point, there was a Targaryen. Her name was Daenerys the Dreamer, and she pretty much has a vision that there's going to be this like apocalypse that happens at Valyria, and they have to leave. And her family heeded her, and the Targaryens, along with the Valerians and some others, went west to, not quite to Westeros, because Dragonstone was kind of like between Essos and Westeros, so they go west, and they're at west. They kind of go to Westeros. They touch in Dragonstone, and that's where they settle. And then right after that happens, and all the Valyrians, like, you guys are fucking idiots, and they were pretty much almost exiled. And then the Doom of Valyria happened, which was a giant apocalypse. All of the volcanoes, because Valyria was made up of like several different, I think there was like 14 volcanoes. They called it like the 14 points. And they were active volcanoes, and there was some kind of, there was mining going on where they were mining obsidian and whatever else. And something happened that caused like just a fucking, the whole place to just explode. Some kind of horrific, destructive thing that everyone in Valyria died. They call it the Doom of Valyria. The dragons died. So it pretty much made it so that the Targaryens were the only remaining dragon riders left, because they had that vision of everything happening. And over the years there was a couple of generations, and then you ended up having Aegon the Conqueror, who initially was kind of...
The Valyrians and the Targaryens kind of intermingle?
The Valerians were also...
They got absorbed into, like, the Targaryens, essentially?
Yes, actually, it's because you have the Valyrians are the people from the place Valyria, and then you have the Valerians, who are the house. And yes, they have always had a tight bond with House Targaryen. Aegon the Conqueror's son, if I remember correctly, Aenys, I know that would get you. He marries a Valerian.
Oh, so they do still exist, the house.
In the books, the Valerians look just like the Targaryens. They are Valyrians, so they have the silver hair, they have the pale skin, and I think they have the purple eyes as well, which is, all in the books with the Targaryens. Now, the
Valyrian steel, is that like they temper the steel with like obsidian? Is that what it is?
Well, old Valyria, they, there was a lot of magic and other type of stuff, and they were the only ones that were able to craft. So it was an enchanted blade then? In a sense, it was enchanted. They don't really explain the secrets were lost with the Doom. My theory, as I've said on the show, is that it's obsidian mixed with steel and some kind of blood magic, and that's how they make Valyrian steel.
It's surprising that they're able to work it, though, and, create these swords and not really know how they're, duplicated.
Well, they all, so many of them died. There are some blacksmiths that know how to rework the steel into a new shape.
Well, that's what I mean.
Like they did with Ned
ended
Stark's
up taking
blade.
Ned Stark's blade, and then they even...
But even then, there's like a few people in the world that know that. A lot of that was lost in the Doom of Valyria, and also with the dragons. Part of Valyria was actually like melted and twisted stone, so they were actually known to like melt stone and reshape it into stuff. They didn't like build with bricks; they melted stone and shaped it. And that's where I think, again, Valyrian steel, I'm pretty certain, is obsidian mixed with steel, because obsidian in Game of Thrones has magical properties. It can kill the White Walkers just like Valyrian steel can, and it's very sharp and very lightweight, but it's brittle.
It's possible that that's what, because you said they were mining for that. Maybe there was like some kind of magical, wall of it or something that was protecting them from the volcanoes, and they breached it, and
it's very possible. Reaction. That's one of the theories, is that they mined
like
it too much.
When the dwarves mined too deep into the mines of Moria, and woke up the Balrog and shit.
Well, it's like the Dwemer in Skyrim. They mined. Some people suspect they mined too deep, but it's the idea is that they became they transcended too much, or thought they transcended to godhood, and some say the gods, were pretty much like firing back for them rising too high with the magic and the blood magic and whatnot. that they could have literally mined too deep and triggered some kind of volcanic eruption. And then there's other theories that the Faceless Men actually took them out. Yeah. Because originally the Faceless Men and the city of Bravos was created from escaped slaves. So Valyria, they just enslaved everybody. And these slaves escaped and they created Bravos, which was kind of like Venice, and it was hidden in the trees so that they were able to kind of, have a secret place, and it just grew over time. But the cult or whatever of the Many-Faced Men eventually was created from a slave of Valyria that asked for death. He actually asked, just kill me. I don't want to live in this world anymore. And he was apparently the first gift of their dark brotherhood, if you will. And then Arya, when she's being told this story, is like, well, that's stupid. They should have killed the Valyrians. And the guy in the show, it's Jaqen, but there's an old man that's teaching her everything, and he's like, oh, they get theirs, but that's another story for another time. And actually, in the books too, Jaqen Hagar, who we all know and love, he was already in prison, and Ned actually sends him and the other two guys to the Wall. And you don't really know what he was in prison for, but apparently he was in the forbidden section of the library. I don't know, there's a whole bunch of shit going on. It's hard to follow at times, but the Many-Faced Men might have been involved with the doom of Valyria.
Well, I mean, I have an hour and a half left to the last of the Throne Ascendancy books. Like I said, I think the next book I'm gonna tackle is the Black Hat. Was it Behind the Black Hat?
Behind the Black Hat, JR's book, yeah.
GR book. And then after that, maybe I'll give Game of Thrones a shot again.
Tyrion. You'll love the audiobooks, man. He's really good, Roy Duttries. He's really good. You were asking though about the Targaryens and their dragon riding abilities and where does that come from? So the Valyrians just had that special, something about them made them special that made them able to ride dragons. They all died. The Targaryens were the only one that lived, meaning they were the only ones with dragons left, and therefore now they're suddenly the most powerful family, in all the Seven Kingdoms. And
do you know where the grayscale stuff comes from?
The grayscale, that's actually a good story because it ties in with a lot of this. The grayscale, if I remember correctly, it originated in the Rhoynar, the Rhoyne. So in the eastern continent, Essos, there's these big rivers, and the people that lived there were river people, and they were the Rhoynar. And if you remember in Game of Thrones, they always say King of the Andals, the Rhoynar, and the First Men. So the First Men were the first migration of humans into Westeros. They came from the east, and they went to Westeros. The Children of the Forest were already there. The First Men kind of invaded and killed a lot of them, but they actually ended up kind of making peace with the children, and the agreement was they'll live near the shores, and the Children of the Forest will live in the deep forest and in the mountains and whatnot. And they kind of coexisted and actually adopted their gods, the old gods. They did kill them a lot, and there was a lot of warring, but they mostly made peace with them. Then the Andals came in. They were the next migration of people, and they brought with them the new gods, and they were very religious warfare, burned down all of the religious trees, and they slowly made their way into different kingdoms of Westeros. This is when it was all different kingdoms at that point. So there are some houses that have more First Men blood than Andal blood, like the Starks.
The Starks are all First Men.
The North was the only territory that was never actually the Andals.
By the Andals.
Yeah, they were able to kind of throw them off, and the North, though they did make eventually over time, they intermingled with them as well. But the Andals were the next migration of people. They brought with them the new gods. They
that's
mostly
why they still
took
have
over.
them trees in the north and all that stuff.
Right. The North still keeps the old gods. There is a little sept for the new gods for Catelyn that Ned has built, and there is some presence of the new gods and whatnot. But and there are some houses. A lot of them were burnt, but most of what ended up happening was the Andals married in, and a lot of them just adopted the new religion. So that was the next migration. And then you had the Rhoynar. So the Rhoynar were these river people, and they were pretty much captured and enslaved by the Valyrians. And they just swept right through them. And there were different leaders of the Rhoynar, and they would try to fight, but it was just futile. They could not fight against the Targaryens and their dragons. And that's where you have Nymeria, which is the name of Arya's direwolf, if you recall. And the story of the 10,000 ships or whatever it is. And she pretty much like leads what's left of her people after like everybody gets killed pretty much. She leads them all, like they just try to escape. So they escape on boats and they go to this place and that place and they just keep finding misfortune. And eventually they land in Dorne, and the Dornish actually take them in, and they settle there. They burn all the ships because they're not going back, and they join in with the Martells, which are you remember Oberyn Martell, the Sand Snakes and all of them. So the Rhoynar married in with the Dornish, and that's why their name is Oberyn Nymeris Martell. They're called House Martell for short, but it's Nymeris Martell. And they joined their kingdoms together in a sense, their nations, and that's where the Rhoynar came from. But when the Rhoynar were getting wrecked by the Targaryens, not the Targaryens, by the Valyrians, there was one Rhoynar prince. I don't remember if his name was Garen or something like that, but he pretty much called down this curse. So they imprisoned him and they put them in this like golden cage or something like that. I forget. And he called down this curse. So they called it Garen's curse, but probably grayscale, which was pretty much his curse. And it had something to do with the rivers and the fog and breathing it in. And, there's some magic. I guess there was some kind of, I don't remember if he did some kind of like ritual to like make it happen, but it was a very vehement curse. And that's apparently the origins of grayscale. It's like the curse of the Rhoynish.
I know that was like part of the reason why the Valyrians got wiped out, right? Was the grayscale?
No, well, so in the show, it's kind of related because they send a lot of the people who get grayscale to an area in the Rhoyne that's close to Valyria.
I thought it was in Valyria.
It's not quite in Valyria, but Valyria's reach was very big. So it is near the ruins of Valyria, and that's the thing. If you go to Valyria, like, you just die. Like, there's anybody that like comes too close to Valyria, like, dies. There's some kind of curse on it that sailors like try to keep away from it. Like, you don't even want to get close. There is actually a sick fucking story that takes place in the extended lore, which is part of like a World of Ice and Fire, where there is one Targaryen girl who steals a dragon and goes, like, just flies off, and they think she runs away, but apparently the dragon kind of had a mind of its own and went back to old Valyria, and she comes back, and it's, like, fucked up. She's got, like, these, like, snakes, like, eating her alive inside, and, like, they describe it very fucked up in Game of Thrones way that they only can. They're, like, a snake was popping out of her vagina, like, and it's, like, these snakes with human faces that were eating away at her and boiling her from the inside. And the only thing that was able to, like, they were trying to help her, but she was, like, literally crackling, and they put her in a bathtub full of ice, and that, like, killed all of the things inside of her. And it's like, what the fuck? So there's some kind of dark blood magic shit going on where there are just, who knows what the fuck happened. They could be blood worms. There's a story, they mentioned them too.
I guess the dragon wouldn't have been able to, like, blast the area and, like, kind of cleanse the land.
A lot of the dragons died.
I mean, the dragon that she was on.
Oh, yeah. No, the dragon she was on ends up dying too, if I remember correctly.
Makes sense.
If I remember correctly, yeah, the dragon she was on was, like, one of the oldest living dragons. So that's why they don't know what happened to her. They suspect that she went back to old Valyria. And that's probably the case.
I guess she died too soon for them to be able to...
They couldn't make out anything she was saying. She was, like, fucked up. So, yeah, the story of old Valyria is definitely pretty interesting. It explains, where the Targaryens came from. They're the only Valyrians remaining. I guess the Valerians are also Valyrians too, but they were never dragon riders. The Valerians actually might have even come west before the Targaryens did, if I remember correctly. But the idea is that the Targaryens were always, they ruled the skies with their dragons, and then the Valerians rule the seas with their ships. They're seafaring people. So they have, like, the most powerful navy. And the sea snake
So
is
it's between the land, the sky and the sea.
Well, that's where when Viserys marries Rhaenyra to Laenor, he says, you know, we rule the skies and your family rules the seas, and together we will, you know, we'll be able to secure the power of our dynasty for the future generations to come. So that's kind of how their families are linked. So yeah, there's been a couple of times throughout history where the Targaryens married or you know, gave birth with Valerians, and part of that too, to tie it all
just
together.
goes to show that everybody's blood is mixed in it.
Well, but that's the thing. The Targaryens, that's why they do the incest. That's why
Try to keep it as pure as possible.
Right, and like by mixing with the Valerians, it's a way to still kind of keep their bloodline somewhat pure, not dilute it too much.
Because the Valerians probably already have Targaryen in their blood.
Exactly, they've already been, you know, intermixing. So when they mix with the Valerians, it's not that big of a deal. But then when Aenys, so he was with a Valerian woman, but then his children end up like starting to incest together, and that's what offends the faith. You know, and that's when the faith ends up actually going to war with the Targaryens and weakening their kind of hold, and that's where Maegor the Cruel shows up, and he's a whole amazing story, and eventually they defeat the faith, and they come up with an agreement that the faith will be demilitarized and the crown will defend the faith. But then later on, fast forward 300 years or whatever, Cersei rearms the faith. And they're like, no, don't do that. If you remember, she meets the High Sparrow guy, and she's like, oh, well, I could either pay you back $2 million or I could let you rearm yourselves. And Maester Pycelle, and they're all like, no, your grace, you cannot arm the faith. This is, you know, it's a threat to the crown. And Cersei's a dumb twat, so she doesn't listen, and it ends up being a problem for them. But that's why
she blows up everything.
And then she blows up the whole fucking church. But that's the backstory behind it. Was the faith was against the Targaryens and the incest, because that's considered an abomination.
Now, was the Blackfire considered like a backup plan because the dragons were gone?
The Blackfire rebellion takes place like 150.
I mean, the creation of Blackfire itself.
Well, Blackfire itself is a sword. It's a Targaryen family sword. They have two swords. They have
didn't
Dark
they have
Sister.
some kind of like crazy fire that they were able to burn the sea, and that's how they were able to take out all those ships?
That's Wildfire.
Wildfire.
That came much later. So if you're asking about
That's
the
what I'm saying is, like,
Wildfire,
did they use Wildfire as sort of a replacement? Because isn't that what the Mad King said, was burn them all? Didn't he mean to use Wildfire?
Yes.
Isn't that what Cersei specifically used to destroy the faith?
Well, so there was
it all the trap shit?
A couple of generations before, there was Aegon the Unworthy, who, when all the dragons were wiped out already, he tried to use the pyromancers, and he built wooden dragons, and he ended up being a disaster, and they like burnt down the whole Kingswood, and like it was just a fucking disaster. So it just never worked, because the Wildfire has to be handled by men, and men fuck up, and it just creates problems usually, so they have to be very careful. But the pyromancers were able to kind of ingratiate themselves with Aerys, the Mad King, and he liked the Wildfire because he always wanted, you know, the Targaryens, ever since the dragons died, they always were trying to get them back. That's like it's almost like it then becomes like a pitfall of the Targaryens, because anytime they try to bring the dragons back, it just creates disaster. They tried to bring the dragons back with some magic, and there's this thing called Summerhall, which was like almost like a second Targaryen seat. And it's what happens with Dunk and Egg eventually, but there's a tragedy at Summerhall where they try to use pyromancing to bring the dragons back, and it's a fucking disaster, and a bunch of more Targaryens die. So, like, they'll try to use Wildfire, and it is similar in properties to Dragonfire, and there is almost some magic involved in creating it. But it's never able to be a viable replacement for the Dragonfire. But Blackfire is the Targaryen family sword. The Blackfire Rebellion is a story that takes place after House of the Dragon, and you pretty much have a king, Aegon, they'll call him Aegon the Unworthy, who it's tough to explain in a short, succinct manner, but he pretty much is married to his sister, but the sister loves the brother. he never really totally trusts his sister. He has children with her, but he always suspects that maybe they're his brothers. And he has a bunch of, he's like a fucking sick sexual pervert. He has like dozens and dozens and dozens of bastards. Many of them are illegitimate and they're just lowborn and they don't really count. But what ends up happening is on his deathbed, he legitimizes his bastards. And this creates a problem because he has a legitimate son, but now he legitimizes his bastards, and he gave the sword, the Targaryen sword, to one of his bastards.
Well, that's fun.
So they named the house, because now he's legitimized, you need like a name for your house. He named his house Blackfire after the Targaryen family sword. And, you know, there's a bunch of different bastards, and some are aligned with the crown. The Blood Raven, the Three-Eyed Raven eventually, Brendan Rivers, he's aligned with the crown. Then there's Bittersteel, who is it's funny because the show is showing the Blackwoods versus the Brackens. They're like the Hatfields and the McCoys.
Hatfields and McCoys, yeah.
That was in the last episode.
Yep.
So one of the bastards is a Bracken and one of them's a Blackwood. And the Blackwood one ends up becoming the Three-Eyed Raven that Bran meets, Brendan Rivers. And the Bracken one is Bittersteel. And meanwhile, Daemon Blackfire is a full Targaryen because he...
I guess after that battle, they're lucky that they both still existed.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's crazy. The Blackwoods and the Brackens have been fighting for thousands of years.
But the fact that, like, that whole field was, like, all dead bodies, and there's still Blackfields and Brackens alive.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
What?
It is interesting.
Left?
The Blackwoods are cool because they keep the old gods. But, yeah, they somehow manage to always survive. And they rise in power and fall in power depending on whatever's going on. But, the Blackfire Rebellion's fucked up. It's pretty much a bunch of Targaryen bastards and the crown kind of fighting one another, and then there's multiple generations of that, because then he has sons, and then the sons'
they even
sons.
said that they don't even remember why it started.
Yeah,
anymore.
It's
lost the time.
It's just over time there's always an atrocity committed on one side or the other, and then they just hate each other, and then they'll make peace, and then they go back to fighting. It's
generational hate.
It's just generational hate. Yeah, there's so much lore to it all. The Targaryens especially, their story is really told in Fire and Blood, and they tell you every Targaryen king has their own story. Some are more interesting than others, but I wonder if someone made a mod or something to explain what happened to them. To what, the Valyrians? There's only guesses. Anything that's actually canon, it's all guesses.
I know we were going to talk about the boys. I think we're both not caught up on the latest episode, so maybe we'll save that for next week.
Yeah. Well, next week you won't be here, but the following week.
Yeah. But I mean, like I said, if you guys want to run the show without me, you can certainly do that. But I had a lot of fun playing Skyrim.
Yes.
And I wanted to show that off to everybody.
Long overdue.
We had to have the House of the Dragons discussion and stuff, and we didn't want to leave you guys hanging because we missed last week. And really appreciate everybody that tuned in. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Hope you guys enjoyed my heavily modded Skyrim game with Thor. And I don't know, maybe we'll take a screenshots of all the mods that I use, and you can post them on the social media in case anybody wants to duplicate my playthrough.
You want to be invincible.
Yeah, I mean, it's so broken, but I love it. 5 times jumping height, fucking invincibility, one-shot kills with the Mjolnir. Love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
But thank you once again so much for everybody that tuned in tonight. If you're new here and you haven't hit that button yet, please hit that subscribe and that follow button so that you know when we're going live. This has been the Break Room Podcast. Snoochie Boochies, and may the force be with you.
3, 2, 1.
Woo! 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 Oh, show!
Oh,
my God, you can table and the computer just shook. That is, no one was mad that you cut the whole... You can go anywhere!
What do I do with that?
Yeah, and the macho madness and the Hulkamania.
On top of that, you're the best wrestler of all time. So I absolutely adore you.
For being the cream of the crop, yeah.
Let's go! Fucking idiot, you have no idea what you're talking about.
God. But they were saying Sony apparently said that the PlayStation 5. You suckers! Is that the end of it?
Or every pixel of the game engine into the face. Can't say
that. Dallas.
Stupid.
What did I, and that's like part of my Christmas